face behind the brand. I am your host, Monique Marie, and you are Class.
International Class.
International Class,
What's
okay?
going on? What's going
So
on?
excited to have you here tonight.
For sure.
And I know you, of course, are in a session in the studio tonight, and I
Most
appreciate
definitely.
you
Most definitely.
taking the time. What's the weather like?
It's freezing out here.
I know.
I'm not too far from you, so
Yeah.
it's like 50 degrees or something like that.
Yeah. So you know how it is, Cali weather. I know we got some East folks on here, East-West folks, North Mountain, all
For
over
sure,
the place.
for sure.
So I appreciate you all. Come on in. So I wanted to do this with you tonight, to have this live sit-down interview, so that, of course, we can find out who you are behind the brand.
For sure.
Behind
For sure.
International Class. So tell us, who is International Class? Who is Class?
I don't know, man. Class is a whole vibe, man. Class is a brand, man. Class is to me, I feel like I don't know. I'm clothing. I'm urban. I'm culture. I'm everything that music is.
Yes.
You know, I feel like that's part of the gift that God gave me. Gave me the ability to adapt to where the industry is going. Still staying close to His heart. I'm not selling myself. I'm a slave to music. If you were to ask me who Class is, he's a slave to the music.
He's a slave to music, and I could
Right
definitely feel that. Your music is very, very inspiring. It's very good.
Appreciate it.
From what the culture, from an artist to an artist would say, it is dope.
Awesome.
The energy, the vibe, everything I felt from, just of what I've heard. I mean, your discography is just vast. So there's so many songs. I want to find out, of course, I know you're from Oakland, from the Bay Area, born in Oakland.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So when did you
Born in Berkeley, but
raised in Oakland? Did I say
but raised in Oakland?
Okay.
You know.
Let's clear that up. So born in Berkeley, raised in Oakland. Okay.
Yeah.
So you fell in love with both the music and the streets. Is that right?
Hey, facts. Big facts.
So talk about that.
Originally from I mean, both my mom and dad were very successful people. They did very well. Just wasn't in love with that lifestyle. Wasn't in love with stuff being given to me. The silver spoon crutch that a lot of people in the suburbs have, or middle class have, where they grow up feeling like they're better than the people that didn't get that opportunity, that are kind of from the tracks over right across the street. Like, I knew people that lived right across the railroad tracks that were more hood, that didn't have what I had, that grew up on Section 8. I related to them more than I did to people in the suburbs. So when we moved to Sacramento, I grew up in Elk Grove. It was a real suburb at the time. There wasn't a lot of black people there. And in order to fit in as a black person, you basically had to play a sport. So I played sports. I played basketball. I did all that. And I just didn't like the way that they received us as African Americans, or we weren't accepted out there. And my parents were real wealthy. We still weren't accepted. And so I would cross the tracks and go to the South area, because I was in the South area, but they didn't consider Elk Grove at the time the South area. South area was kind of treacherous. Elk Grove was kind of nicer. And I related to them. So I grew up around running with OGs that were giving up game. I mean, Major Jims, Major Jules. And back then I didn't rap. I just played ball. And they were pushing me like, bro, they thought I was one of them. And I played it so tough. They thought I was really from out there. So I got caught up with the gang life and running from Sacramento to the Bay Area back and forth. The culture was just kind of embedded in me. And so I think that I got the best of both worlds. I got to know business. I got to see what it's like to be successful. So I understood that my parents cultivated me and taught me that. And then I got the other side, where I was like the what other people call urban. I got that. I got the whole culture. I got the street life. I saw the dope game. I saw rappers, and I saw people, just hanging out. And that was something I became kind of addicted to, like a drug. I wasn't into drugs, but I was addicted to leaving my house every day, making my way to the South area so I could be out with people that I related to. And so I think that that kind of made me who I was.
Yeah.
It was a good and bad thing.
Yeah. And I get that. I mean, you know, it's what you wanted to see. It was what you were wanting to see because it was more relatable to people, the color, skin, everything, right?
For sure.
People. So it makes total sense. So who in the household has this amazing gift, or who in the family? I know you told me about your sister.
Hey, you'd be surprised. Everybody in that house had a gift. My daddy could sing. Look, my daddy could sing. My daddy had vibrato out of his. I didn't even know what vibrato was, man.
Oh my God.
I grew up. My mom and dad were preachers. I grew up just in church. My mom's an evangelist. She's been an evangelist, man, her whole life, man. She taught me God, but I watched her sing in the church, and I was just like, man. And then she hit me to the Clark sisters and the Kim Burrell and to singers like that.
Yeah.
And so everybody in my house can sing. It's crazy. My brother can sing. My brother doesn't really sing. He's more of a producer. My little brother can sing. He's more of a rapper. But yeah, everybody was in the house gifted.
That's incredible. So talk to me about some of the influence as far as just in the industry so far. I mean, when you first got your initial, you know, connection and you were starting to work with producers and other players and heavy hitters in the business.
I honestly, the biggest influence I'm gonna have to say is Mark Knox. Okay. Shout out to Mark Knox, man.
Shout out to Mark.
He's like a king in our city. I know you're probably familiar with him. He's the sound behind Mac Dre. He's the sound behind so many artists, even recently Snoop, and just watching him grow and seeing what he did. Damani Rhodes, shout out to Damani Rhodes, doing his thing, man. He was an early producer in my career. Shout out to my boy AT. He's in the studio with me, man. He's in the building, man. We're gonna talk to him in a minute. But he was like a huge influence. One thing is too, like growing up, like I watched a lot of Jazzy Faye, and I watched a lot of Scott Storch and those early producers, man. And I didn't really find the lane. It's funny, Monique, I didn't even find the lane in what they did. I was just like so in awe. Early on as a drummer, I wasn't even a singer. I wasn't even singing or doing nothing. Early on, like in my teens, I was a drummer. So I would listen to these producers because it was like their beats they were using in their cadences and stuff like that. And I would incorporate it in church. God forgive me. But I would do this stuff in church, and I was around musicians that were doing the same thing. And so I'd have to say early on, my biggest influence, man, Scott Storch. Short white dude, man. He was one of the hottest producers in my time. Cool and Dre. Those were my big influences. When I was able to get in the game, when I was able to get in the industry, and I really made moves, those were dudes I was looking at. Tracks a Million. Shout out to them. You know, I was able to get to the mechanics and really have conversations with them and Rick Rock and stuff like that. So those are the major players, man, that kind of influenced me early in my career, that kind of pushed me. Rico the Kid, man. Shout out to Rico the Kid, man. Oakland's very own Rico the Kid, man. He like shaped my sound. That's my brother, man. He's always gonna be my brother, and he like was one of the major dudes, youngster, man. I was really like, bro, you're dope. And so I shout out to Rico the Kid, man. Mr. Fab, man. I see you, man. That's my dude, man. These are dudes that influenced me and pushed me to be dope.
Incredible. And I see a few of those dope dudes. I see AT just joined us. He's in the building and online with us. I see Contrabands right
for sure. Jenny, I see you. She's one of our artists, man. Keezy, I see you, man.
Tapping in. Coming in. Come on in.
They're coming in, man.
Behind the brand. So so you have some amazing sounds. So talking about all this music, of course, I had the opportunity, of course, as I told you earlier, just to go through your discography. I'm still in the process. Okay, it's just
for sure.
There's a lot of music. Just in 2020 alone. I'm very impressed. I was honestly just trying to figure out what to listen to first. But let's start with what we came in today with, of course, what we were talking about, which is Legend.
Sure.
You know, you have some stuff going on right now that you're working on with this new album, but Legend, of course, is a big one. Speaking of AT, talk about Legend.
Produced it, man.
Legend. Please talk about Legend.
Okay, Legend, look, AT's right here, man. But look, Legend is it was from my heart. I was in a place at the time where my album before that tanked. It was terrible. It was awful. And they talked about me. You know, they talked about Jesus. Look at AT sliding in.
Hi, AT.
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
I told him he had to make a cameo tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate you for joining us.
No problem.
He's in producer mode right now. But yeah, this is the guy. I'm not even gonna go into the disc, but I met a lady by the name of Marvelous. She's a legend.
Marvelous. Yes, I've heard of Marvelous.
Ran into her in the studio. She's done work with the Jacka. She's done work with Tupac. She's done work with everybody. She's a legend from Sacramento. I ran into her one day. I had a song called Summertime. That's how we even got to Legend. I had a song called Summertime. I ran into AT. I heard his song Sushi. Shout out to Sushi. It's almost 200,000 streams.
Oh man, he picked me up. Like,
wait a second.
Tell him.
I picked him up one night. Look, I was regular. I was a regular dude before class, so man. So I was humbled, and I would do. I was a licensed songwriter. It was paying my bills, but I would do Lyft on the side to meet people.
Wow. And
so I met this dude on a Lyft one night, man. He was like, "Man, I do music," and I was humbled by it. I played his music. I was like, "Man, we got to work." At that time, I had notable people I was writing for. So I was, he said he was going to charge me for a verse. And I was like, you know what? You're not going to charge me, man. I didn't work with everybody. You tripping. But I paid I respected his craft. That's the one thing a lot of people don't do nowadays. Don't respect people's craft. I respected his craft. I respected his sound. And we built a sound. I came in with this idea about Legend because my last album had tanks. And I was like, man, I need to revitalize my sound. You got a sound as a producer that I like. So I mean, like, we were literally grinding. This dude he took my heart and he made it into an album. I just laid the vocal, but he had the prototype. He was the architect behind that album, Legend. It's like an 8-track EP, but everything AT put together. He was able to find exactly what the industry wanted at the time. It catapulted my career. That album did really well, but it opened a door for me to step into my next, the next generation of music.
Well, it's an incredible song. So again, just congratulations, both of you. AT.
For sure.
Thank you.
Incredible producer. Yes, indeed. Just the sound. Like I said, I'm the kind of person, I have to listen to everything in my car just to confirm it.
Facts. She said just to confirm it.
You did it.
And that's the thing about it is, like, for me, even as an artist, I come from both sides of the booth. So as a songwriter and as an artist myself, I understand when I'm producing and I'm engineering for other artists, especially working with him, like, you got to find their soul and find their heart and find where they're coming from. And once you fucking figure that out, you can put that same kind of tender love and care into each bar and each kind of edit that you do for him. Because if you're separated from his passion for what he's doing as an engineer, then that'll bleed out in the music. So I try to make sure that our relationship always stays tight. And on top of that, when we're in the studio, it's just a whole different type of vibe when it's me and him. So we've been able to kind of put it together for sure.
You guys have put a lot together. So again, we're talking about, 2020 has been amazing. You're talking about Takeover season, Legend, Summertime. Overnight, of course, you're working with some amazing people. One of the other songs I like, of course, American Dream, because that's one of my questions.
Oh man, I love that song.
What is the American Dream to you? But as you're hearing it today.
Bro, I love that song so much.
You know what? The funny thing about American Dream is when I met AT, I already knew like the D-Lows, and I knew all these people, the Kick the Sneaks, and I had an industry relationship. Shout out Sean Kingston. Early on, my sister used to date him, and so I got away in the industry. And so when I met AT, one thing that he did, he not being behind the mixing board, AT was able to let me see like how to mix and how to do different things like that, and I kind of just took it to where I needed to be. But I was able to do American Dream, like how we talked earlier, in the privacy of my own home.
Yes.
And American Dream was something that was on my heart because I was looking at the industry, and it just talks about basically that song is me like spilling my heart. And it was just how I felt. I was being pulled in so many different directions. They were like rap, because I used to rap first, and then some people were like sing. Like, and I was like, well, the industry doesn't want R&B, and they were like, well, they want Drake, and I said, well, Drake is already Drake, so how do I do Drake? And so they were like, nah, just do you, do what's on your heart. So I started to do this. I had this style where it was like real rap, and I would just really sing though. I wasn't serious. I wasn't playing. And it worked for me. And so American Dream was just me kind of talking to the industry, letting the industry know, like, I recognize who I am as a king. And me and AT just had this conversation about kings and queens, and how our younger generation needs to understand that they're kings. We're not even talking about like royalty. We're talking about in charge. You're in charge of your destiny. You're in charge of your passion. You're in charge of of where you are in your future. A king doesn't get told what to do. He tells people what to do. Right. So if I'm the controller of my destiny, the controller of my life, the controller of my family's destiny, I got to be nothing less than a king. And so American Dream was me like letting the industry know I understand who I am. And it doesn't matter how short you try to sell me in these industry meetings. I was telling AT the other day, like, he knows. I've called him while I'm dancing on tables. I'm in front of
singing our music.
I'm at executive tables.
Made it at the home studio. Music that we wrote together, that we created together.
Yeah.
He's out here, at
I'm
these
out
industry
here
meetings
in Atlanta on tables,
doing that dream of a moment where you're you're in front of the execs, you're on the table, you're performing your heart out, you're singing your tracks,
and they still don't give you.
They still don't understand how much it's truly worth.
Yeah.
And that was one of those things that wasn't disheartening for us, but it was just like, that's the belly of the beast. Yeah. We have to continue to create what we know is valuable to us, because just like Dave Chappelle said, I know how much I'm worth. Right. So you can't tell me how much I'm worth, regardless of how much you tell me how much I'm worth.
Yeah.
I know how much my work is worth. So we've tried to keep that same mindset, which has made us say no to a few situations that most people probably would have said yes to. But because we understand our value, it hasn't allowed us to do that.
Facts.
Amen.
And so that was American Dream. I mean, American Dream was somewhere I was in a place where I felt like I was being pulled in different directions. And it was at a place where I was kind of like done with the music too. I was kind of at a place where I was telling AT, like, man, we doing all these shows, we opening for all these artists, we doing all this stuff. Where the residuals are coming in, but it's not the place that we want to be platform wise. Yeah. And so it was like in those moments, like I dropped American Dream. I called AT on a tangent like I usually do, and I'm like, hey, bro, I'm gonna take my money and I'm gonna invest it in us. And so that was after American Dream was when I started to build this brand that we'll talk about later. But American Dream was just my epiphany moment.
Yeah, well, it's an incredible song, very powerful. And again, like we talked about, we've seen so many people do this. Master P talked about Nipsey Hussle, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Nipsey.
Rest in peace.
It's just the whole point. We don't repeat the same process just to get signed. You know what I'm saying? To give away your government name for crying out loud and give all your hard work. You
just don't let it happen. You just continue to push for what you know you're worth. And in the beginning, you might not feel that value because you might be comparing yourself to the monetary gain of the successful people that you're trying to be like. Yeah. And that's where you got to separate yourself from what they do and just focus on what you're doing. We've been able to do that.
Your own lane.
Exactly.
We talked about it. That lane, like can't nobody tell Monique what her lane is.
Yeah.
We talked about that. We know.
There's no traffic we know. In my lane. This is
straight up.
Lane,
we talked about it. Straight up.
So
I refuse to sell out.
I see Raya on here. Remember, Raya was last night.
What's up, Raya?
Tap in. She said, "Talk about it. Talk about it."
What's up? Yeah, she's dope artist. I'm looking forward to working with you.
And we're just trying to inspire the people around us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Inspire the people around us and inspire the artists.
What's up, Six? I see you. Didi, I see you.
Tapping in, Six.
See you tapping in.
Absolutely. So, and I'll paraphrase something you said today, and it makes total sense about what you're talking about with yourself. You said R&B is an outward expression of the soul, and music is the embodiment of God's greatness.
Come on.
We
talk about.
That's what it is.
We talk about old school. Me and you talked about this the other day, but the way that I feel about R&B is that's why I hype up AT so much. And it's not like, this is my brother. Yeah. So it's beyond music. I didn't see him at his lowest. He didn't see me at my lowest. I don't think in his lifetime, but I've been places where I've been low and he's come and he built me back up. Like, bro, you're a boss. You're tripping. And there were times when I should have took deals, and later on I feel bad, and AT's like, nah, man, you're a boss. It's gonna come again. And you know what happens? It comes full circle. And the reason why is what we talked about today. We talked about like how purpose, purpose, man, is real. Yeah. Like the last 6 months I've been in a place of just like off. Yeah. You know, sometimes you feel off. You're off. Mental health is serious. And I've been off. Like, I've been dealing with so much stuff, taking care of people. I do so much for people. AT will tell you, and my family. I've been dealing with my family. I've been dealing with different things that were throwing me off my game. And I became so like relaxed that I forgot that I was a Kingdom kid. Yeah. And that's what we talked about. You know, like I felt like, man, this dude used to tell me, like, bro, get back in the studio.
You gotta realize sometimes, no matter what happens, like, not all kings have a green path. Some kings' paths are red, orange. Some kings' paths are purple. But whatever that path may be, it leads to green. So regardless of what you're going through, whatever color your season is, you just got to keep going. That's how I always think. And because I've been through some stuff, you know. in this country. You know
Come
what I'm saying?
on
And he's taught me some things over that. So it's real, and that all comes out in the music. And I feel like that's what really makes his music so authentic. Is he's speaking from a place that comes from somewhere real. He's not trying to tell a story. He's not trying to tell a fictionary tale. He's coming from where what he knows, and that's what people really want to hear these days. They want to see the quirky moments. They want to see you know, your girl with her hair all messed up and y'all messing around having fun. They don't want to see everything perfect all the time, man. And so I tell people, like, I love the brick walls in Berkeley more than I love the perfect walls in Granite Bay.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love the ruggedness of it. So that's what he's all about. He brings some truth to the game, and
we talked about it. You know what? Like, I understood. I told you, like, I originated out of the church, and I still sing at churches. Churches call me, and I sing at their churches. Not lately because of COVID, but I know that in that moment when you're in a spiritual place, and you're in a place of where it's just you and God and your gift.
Yes.
You see the elevation of your gift. You see the anointing behind your gift. And so there's the Whitney Houstons of our time. We were like, man, I feel goosebumps. Now you felt the anointing because it was a gift connected to God. It was directly connected to God. And there's moments where I've been in the studio where just recently I got a beat from J Reality. Shout out J Reality. Wow. He's a king. He sent me a beat that just spoke volumes. The beat literally talked to me, but it was so anointed. Like, you could feel the anointing, and the beat didn't say much of anything. I took it to my sister, and she could feel the anointing. She's very spiritual saved. Shout out Simona J. She's 100% sold out for God. She's not crossing over, but she said this beat right here is speaking to me. Okay. And I had to text the dude. AT had to text him. I texted the dude. I said, man, this is spiritual. Wow. Because I understand that God, when God's in it, he's in it. Yeah. And so even it's divine appointment. It's just how it happens. And if you don't understand that your gift makes room for you, you gotta, man, somebody gotta sit you down and have a conversation with you.
Yeah, it's a whole
nother conversation we could have. And so for the last 2 days, I thank God, because it's been like spiritual cleansing. I was in a bad place. We had a conversation. You built my spirit up. I told you we're a sweetie. Just your countenance was beautiful, but you were genuine. Yeah. And so I thank God, because I've been in a really low place, and I was able to talk to God. I've been talking to God, and I'm like, God, what's up? Yeah. And I play a lot of situations back. But I believe that the Lord is showing me, like, your gift is going to make room for you, boy. Yes. Like you've been in the game so long. You've seen this. I've been around industry dudes. I've been around the Chris Browns, and I've been around all these people. And I'm like, how different am I from them? Yeah. I'm like, Lord, that you would give me these deals. These deals look raggedy. Yeah. But I believe, like, that God prepares us for such a time as this, where I'm in a headspace I've never been in my life. Monique, I'm telling you, I'm in a place right now where my word is coming to fruition. I told AT a year ago, I said, man, you'll never work again, bro. You're gonna do exactly what God called you to do, and you're gonna produce. And he's gonna tell you when we talked about him already. I know you won't get him in here, but he's in a place where he's the happiest he's been, and he's doing exactly what he can do. But the Lord allowed me opportunity to give him that opportunity. And so that's the thing that I'm saying. I'm like, God gives us a gift that's gonna make room for it. He moves things out of the way. He moves producers out of the way so that AT can shine. Yeah. He moves R&B singers out the way so they can hear me. Yeah. Because it's different. This is who God is, man. His music is.
I see you. My cousin from Oakland, she just said the same thing. God will make room for your gift.
Straight up.
You said that too earlier when we were talking about purpose, because you are definitely purpose driven. I think the nice thing is that you are a believer. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their different belief, but you know, I have no shame, as you see, and talking about God on this platform, you know. And I think it's incredible, the vibration that you're receiving, the vibration I'm receiving, because like attracts like. And so, you know, when all that is happening and you're giving, of course, the focus, including God in your business, then these types of things begin to line up themselves, and they align themselves.
J Reality, thank you for tapping in. There's the producer itself. J Reality, man.
Hey, J Reality. We speaking them up. They coming in. So we appreciate so much greatness is what we're talking about. And and I was attracted to your inner peace first and foremost. And of course, yes, I heard your who you are through your sound, you know, because that's what we hear first, right? So I think it's incredible. Talk to me about the other parts of your musicianship, because you said it earlier, you're not just a vocalist, you're a rapper, you're a drummer, you're a piano player. Yeah. So you do a lot, and I don't think a lot of people know you're also a painter, correct?
I am. I paint.
Yes.
I do art.
Yeah.
Shout out Haley J.
Wow.
I don't know if I should do it, but I'm a shout out Haley J, man.
Yes.
She was a real got me back into painting and art. Just the
Mm-hmm.
love of art, watching her do her craft. But yeah, I've been painting and doing art, man, my whole life. I kind of got away from that, got into the music because
Yeah.
I think there's different art forms. I
Mm-hmm.
focus more on my music, but yeah, I do paint.
Yeah.
It's another expression of who God
Creativity.
is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you have so many strengths, you know, and I always want to know, with those strengths, what happens on a down day? Like, how do you get yourself up from a weakness that we don't know about? So you may have one weakness, I'm sure. How do you motivate yourself back to this space that you're in right now, which is work,
you know what?
which is not work?
Hey, it's crazy because if you'd have caught me 4 days before, I was in a bad space.
Really?
I've been in a bad space. I've been dealing with so much family issues and different things like that we won't talk about. But I was in a bad place. I think on the outside, people were like, "Man, this dude is doing great.
Yeah.
He drives nice cars. He has a lot of money. He's just." But again, you know, none of that stuff really. It just covers.
Yeah.
It covers the heartache. It covers the pain. I deal with loyalty issues. It sounds weird, but I feel like the people around me should have some kind of loyalty to me. And it may be it's a complex, or it's something, but I feel like, Monique, if we're friends, I have some type of loyalty to you.
Yeah.
I feel like you can trust that if you tell me something, or you say this is what it is, it's what it is.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not even loyalty. Maybe it's just that I want to believe what you say. And so even AT, I hold him at a high standard. If he tells me he's going to be here at 9, I need him to be here at 8:55. If he tells me tomorrow we're going to do this, I expect it. That goes for my sisters, my brothers, or whatever. In the same token, I deal with that issue. So at my lowest, I get insecure if I feel like loyalty is not there.
Wow.
It makes it hard for me to deal with you because I feel like I give 100% of loyalty when I'm in the right headspace. We'll say that, because there's times I'm in the wrong headspace, and I might say I'll be there at 5 and I get there at 7. You know, but or that just could be that I'm black. I don't know. You know, our time is kind of different. You know, but I think that I struggle with that. If I had a weakness, it would be trying to read in between loyalty and just simple human mistakes. I hold people at a standard because my parents held me at a standard. I couldn't tell them, hey, tomorrow I'm gonna be here I'm gonna come home tonight at 1 and get there at 3 because there was a belt waiting. And it's not abuse. I'm just saying there was a belt waiting. And so I grew up like that. I grew up where the expectation was to be great. There was no other expectation in my house. There was no mediocre. There were no C's in my house. There were none of that. It didn't matter how long I hung out with the hood boys. When I came home, I needed to make sure that homework was done and I was at the dinner table on time. It was greatness. I needed to make sure that when I went to church, my shirt was ironed and creased. I needed to make sure when I left that house in the morning to go to school that my clothing was in order and I was hair was combed. So as an adult, I hold people to a standard of greatness. I even think that even if you're your best, you could tell me, Monique, you could tell me today, this is the best I can do. I'm gonna hold you at a standard like, nah, you can kick it with Oprah. You know what I'm saying? Or you can kick it with, you know what I'm saying? Like this Honda is all I can drive. I'm gonna say, nah, that Honda ain't all you can drive. You can drive a Benz. You can do whatever you want because that's just greatness. Greatness strives to be greater. Millionaires are not millionaires because they have $1 million. They're millionaires because they have a consistent flow of money that keeps them at millions.
And they got a millionaire mindset already.
Come on. So I feel like come on, that millionaire mindset is what makes millionaires. And so I feel like my weakness would be that I hold people to greatness, and greatness to me is loyalty. It's loyalty to your craft. It's loyalty to every day waking up. It's loyalty to brushing your teeth. It's loyalty to getting up, putting your clothes on. It's a embodiment. Loyalty ain't just, well, I ain't gonna talk about her. Nah, loyalty is not only am I not gonna let you talk about her, but I'm gonna tell her what you said so that she can tell you exactly what it is. That's loyalty to me. It goes a little step further. Loyalty is when I say I'm committed to you, or we're business partners, that I'm at every meeting. I'm doing my due diligence as a business partner, or as a friend, or as a boyfriend, or as anything, a family member. I'm doing extra and above and beyond. That's loyalty to me. Loyalty isn't just what you say; it's your actions.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And so, and guess what? I mean, that's something you expect. So, I mean, I don't think it's a weakness, though. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just, of course, it's a standard. You know, and it's something that you have, like you said, you placed in your life to what you deserve. So
straight up,
if they're not loyal, then of course they shouldn't be around. You know
straight
what
up.
I'm saying? I have learned in this pandemic year, 2020, to definitely realize that, like, this year is about me. Monique Marie.
Straight
up.
You know
I'm saying this year is all about me.
Ain't it about it? Look, ain't it about you, Monique, and finding out who's really your partner, who's really your friend? Yeah. Look at just prime example. Look at all the church people. Ain't church people no more.
Oh, now you better shut your mouth.
Yeah. We might need to. I'm just saying. Look at all the. Look, hey, look, everybody got quiet. Look at all the industry people that are so scared. Look at all these rappers and singers that are so scared right now because they don't know where their next dollar coming from.
Yeah.
They don't know they don't know how they're gonna do shows because most of these people that you think are rich, they're only rich because you go and you buy tickets to their shows. They ain't rich because you buying their album, because we really don't care about their album.
Yeah.
You care about how they look. So most people are going to go see how that person looks, and you're gonna pay that $150 plus tax to go see how this person looks when they do their shimmy or they dance. But how many of y'all are really watching they lives on their live streams? Nobody cares. So now let's see how the industry. That's what I'm telling you. This is the season to find out who really had your back.
It's a shift.
I'm telling you, and it's gonna be like that for a while, to where you're gonna have to find out the real ones. You're gonna have to find out where the real ones at. Where are the people that really support me? Where are my fans at? Where are the people that are, every time I post something, they're tapping in. Every time I say something, you're checking on me. Where are you at?
Yeah. Well,
it's the season of realness.
I'm the type of person that, realizes too that, again, this is definitely a shift. Some people call it pandemic, COVID-19, but I really truly feel that this is literally the time where we will see the last will be first and the first will be last. Because like you said earlier, the kings and queens, this is real. I forget who I heard say this, but early in March, someone said, now you're about to hear the real music come out. You're about to hear the real sounds.
That's why I feel like we're going to step into that lane when 2021 opens back up and 2022 hits. Because what we talking about is real. We're not talking about none of this frivolousness that's going on. We're talking about stuff from the heart. We're talking about real stories. We're talking about things that people are actually going through that they can relate to.
Look how quiet. You know what? I was talking to Tank. Shout out to Tank. He's just been really, really good to me. But we were talking about, straight up, we were talking about where's R&B at? How many people are dropping R&B songs? There's really nothing. You can't fake it. Either you in love or you not in love. And either you were in some realness, because we believed you when the hustle and bustle was going on. We're not really listening to music. We're listening to the production. We're not listening to the lyrics. I know last year I was hearing some of the dopest beats come out and some of the dopest club bangers and all that stuff. Shout out Blueface. But if you really listen to what did he say in the song? I love you, Blueface, but I'm just saying Tatiana was based on a beat. But now we're sitting back because we're at COVID. We're sitting at home. We're listening to music. We're like, man, that's a terrible song.
Because we need
or that didn't even make any sense.
We need to be lifted and hear conscious sound. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like, like I said,
I like it too. But I love the 808s.
When you're in the club and having a good time, that's what you need.
Like
there's a certain space and lane for certain type of things. And the space and lane for that type of music that was really predominant for about a 4 or 5 year time frame. I really say from 2013 all the way till 2017, 18, until a couple of real albums started coming out. And you even look at the Grammy nominations this year for the rap albums. It's albums that people weren't checking for as far as the media is concerned. It's real music. And I know there's a lot of people mad about that, but I'm one of those people that's happy about that. We got real music back. We got Nas nominated for a Grammy again. We got Jay Electronica nominated for a Grammy again. Who at one point was at the end of a Kendrick Lamar verse where they said his career was over. We're getting back to a space where people are listening to real music and understanding that. And And shout out to my baby girl over there with this comment.
His wifey just tapped and said there's a time and place for the buzz down with the Tatianas. She's actually a dope artist too, Monique. Keep her in mind. She's a dope,
you know what I'm saying?
Dope artist.
Genevieve Kirsten.
Yes, ma'am. She has a single right now going crazy called Different.
She's all right, lady. We're gonna have you on the show, girl.
She's dope.
Produced by AT.
Wow. Well, congratulations. That's what's up. That's
for
nice.
Sure.
I have to listen to that. So we know that loyalty, of course, is definitely, that's something we all desire and definitely need to have around us and want to have around us. But what is the most desirable trait another person can possess besides loyalty?
Hey, honestly, honesty. Mm-hmm. It's a big one. I mean,
honesty and believability.
I think that if I think we're all guilty of lying at one point of our life.
Yeah.
But I think that when honesty is out the picture, there ain't nothing left.
Yeah, you gotta have that.
Honesty kills trust. It kills relationships. It kills. Shoot, honesty is worse than COVID.
Yeah, you gotta be honest even when it hurts. You know, even when it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, facts. It's plenty of times where I deal with the artists that we do, that we are cultivating and making better, where I'm like, that was terrible.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I don't tell you it's terrible, you're going to drop that song and people will be like, this is terrible.
Because we know that we're going to tell ourselves personally that if we do something terrible, like I know me, if I do something terrible, I know. I'm going to be like, that was terrible.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to have the same level of honesty with another artist. And on top of that, be able to be, like Jen's saying right there, morally sound enough to know when it's time to get on somebody's head and when it's time to not get on somebody's head.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like I coach ball. He knows this. With my players, there's times where it's like, hey, do you get on them right now? Or do you let the young man work through this situation and grow versus getting on his head? Because I could be like, oh, you're messing up. Or I could be like, let him learn.
Yeah.
And he'd rather go through that than the other side.
Constructive criticism, right?
Facts.
Big time.
Facts.
Yeah.
So I would say honesty, honest.
So would you say, class, when all is said and done, will you be able to say that you've said more than you've done?
Yeah. Hey, hopefully not. Hopefully I've done more than I've said. The talk is cheap, and I think that if I die and they're like, man, he sure said a lot. He had that one song, but if I die and you say, man, this dude had a legacy, man. He left us with bombs and breakups. He left us with I Don't Want You. He left us with a whole clothing line. He left us with a whole slew of artists. He left us with producers. He left us with his imprint. That's the thing that Nipsey Hussle did that people do not understand. We will forever talk about Nipsey Hussle. We won't talk about Nipsey Hussle for anything other than the fact that he educated the streets on how to get out of the streets and how to make something happen. When he got out, shout out to my little brother, Jay Meese, Empire. Love you. Thank you for tapping in. It's my little brother.
Hey, little brother, Jay Meese.
He's a dope artist also, man. He's doing numbers. Just did 1 million streams last video. Has a remix coming out with Jay Stalin.
No cap.
He's the man. He's worked with everybody.
All this vibration. Bring it on in.
Come on, man. They're bringing it in. But I would have to say, I want to do more than what I said. I want to make sure that people, when I leave, when I'm gone, they're going to be like, man, remember class? Remember remember what he did for this person? Remember what he did for the industry? Remember how he stayed real? Remember how he stayed true? I want that conversation. I don't want people like, well, he thought about doing that. So let's see if we can finish what I want to finish what I started. I want to finish what I said. I want all my sentences to end with a period. I don't want the ... where you're trying to figure out what I got to say. But I want everything from here on out for the rest of my life to be impactful. I want you to say, man, look how he did that. Look at that album, man. Look how they put that album together. Look what he did here. Look what he did there. And I want to make sure that it's meaningful and just more than just the smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Shout out to, I think you pronounce her name Raya, right?
Raya.
Raya. Shout out to Raya, man, for bringing awareness to the absolute facade of Instagram. I want to be more than Instagram. I want to be more than the smoke and mirrors. I want to be a real artist that has a discography that you can go through and you can say, man, I watched him grow. I watched his heartache. I watched his pain. I watched him turn into a man. I watched his love. I watched his success. I watched his happiness. I want you to be able to say, man, I know him as an artist. That's why we know Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
We knew his life. And
we'll never forget. We'll never
forget Michael. We'll never forget Prince. We'll never forget Bobby Brown. Shout out Bobby Brown for cooking, man. I wanted some of your ribs. Yeah. But I'm just saying, shout out to the people that we look up to.
I'll still be bumping Bobby Brown. Okay?
I love Bobby Brown. Hey, I got the 2-step down. No, I be doing that little anyway. But shout out to the legends
the legends. I was gonna say the legends. And you know,
legends.
It's something because what it was talking about earlier. I think we did again the vibration, because even right now you got folks in the timeline. Forgive me for not being able to read so fast, you guys. I'm trying to definitely interview and pay attention. But I just literally saw 3 affirmations in a list in a line. And look at this. You got congratulations. So that's in advance. Then you got you're building that legacy already, my guy. Louis Voltaire said that. Then you got you are going to do great things. So
Facts.
That kind of conversation, of course, every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
hearing that from these wonderful people that see it and know it. But just imagine, of course, how we're speaking it to ourselves, because we
talked about affirmations, most definitely.
We're calling into existence. You know, so I think it's incredible. So talk to me about, and I should say, talk to the generation, because you may have somebody on this line that's watching or who will see this video who's coming behind you. And they definitely, of course, are talented and gifted, and they want to put out their music. They want to either get signed or be independent. But talk to them about the importance of performance rights organizations.
Let's both say something to the people right here, bro.
Honestly, I think that it's so easy. I say it like this. I think it's so easy to turn on your television and see the Chris Browns and the Tory Lanez and the Trey Songz. Shout out to all of them, man. Shout out to my boy Tory. I see it's easy to watch all these artists, the B2Ks, Omarion, shout out Omarion, the Little Fizzes and all these people, but and say it's an overnight thing. Because it looks like it was overnight for them. It looks like it was overnight for Bow Wow. It looks like it was overnight for Omarion. We looked up one day and B2K was out there 2-stepping. We're like, who is this? Right. But you don't know that it took them years. Yeah. It took them years. It took Omarion years to build a brand that we believed. We believed him as an R&B artist because we saw his lifestyle. We saw his visuals. We saw his videos. And me and you talked about, when I asked you today, what's your direction for your music? I asked you, the interviewer, and I was like, hey, like, what you trying to do? And you like, I want to do this, this, and this. Because me and you understand from being in the game and working with artists. Shout out to my little brother. I'm gonna just give him some love right now. Yeah. I called him one day and I said, man, how do I do this, this, and this? And he gave me the game. He's like, bro, this is the game. If you don't have money to put in yourself, you done already.
Oh my goodness.
So make sure you got money coming into yourself. Make sure you got money to do these shows, to buy these features, to pay for studio time. Because if you broke, you really just another singer. Yeah. And that's not no pun intended to the person that feels like they can't get a job. Yeah. Anybody can get a job. Yeah. Anybody can do anything. Shout out to the people that didn't believe until today that it's possible to do what you want. You looking at 2 people on this live, Monique, you're looking at myself, that have put in the work. Who've taken breaks, who've gotten back to it. It's just hard work and dedication. If anything, no I motivate myself. There's he said there's no breaks, and I agree. I'm always waking up. Shout out to Sammy J. He's also on the live. I hit him on my ride here, and I said, man, send me some beats, man. Send me something. I got 2 tracks left on my album. I need beats. He didn't waste any time. You know why? It's because he believes on his beats. He believes in the music. He believes in it. You know, and I thank God for producers like that are like, what you need, brother. I charge this for verse, but for you, I'm gonna give it to you for this beat. But for you, I'm gonna give it to you for free because I believe in you. Shout out Jay Reality. I was in the studio the other day. He gave me a beat. He's just like, here, man. I said, what I owe you? He was like, man, just take it. But that's because it's the work that we put in. Yeah. Me and you are putting in work. I told you the other day, I watched and I looked at the stuff that you've done, and I was like, man, it's respect. Because you're not the typical person that sees the face. I'm not saying I'm like the sexiest man alive. Shout out to my boy that got that on the magazine. I'm not even gonna say your name because it's gonna take attention off of me. But Michael B. Jordan, man, shout out Michael B. Jordan. A lot of people see it. Look, don't ooh again. You talking to class. Anyway, but I'm just joking. But I'm just saying, shout out to the people that see the music. Yeah. And then they see me. Yeah. And they like, oh, he's, his music is dope. Yeah. And then when we see him, we like, okay, cool. Yeah. But I appreciate you for being one of those people that were really like into the music first. Yeah. Absolutely. And then when we had a conversation, we understood like, okay, we understand each other. Yeah. But I think that it's building a brand that we notice before we notice you. I don't want to notice you
Yeah.
I want to hear a song on the radio. I don't even want to see you.
Yeah. I want to hear
until
your
I understand
first.
where your heart is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People are so quick to want to put themselves out on display, and I see you and I don't like you.
Yeah.
But I like the music.
Yeah.
But I don't like you when you was
doing that shit.
When
really what it is, like, even for him, like, even like for me, what it is this: it's a 2-step process.
Yeah.
It's making the decision, and then it's taking action. That's really it. It doesn't matter if it's music. It doesn't matter what it is. And for us, it was music. And for me, it was the same thing. I started off making the decision and just took action.
Yeah.
And I've taken action for 10 consecutive seasons. That's why I like to call it 10 seasons, where you're in this, where you're really in it. You're really in the trenches, making these moves and making mistakes, doing what you need to do. I mean, I was signed to a subdivision of Sick With It Records for 5 years called J Rock Management. I did 300+ shows with E40, Too Short, all these different types of artists for years.
Yeah.
And most people would have said, hey, you should have made it by now. But for me, I didn't never want that clout. I wanted to do it myself. And that's how he's always wanted to do it. So if I have any piece of advice for any artist, it's if you do get an opportunity, analyze what type of advantage it could be for you, whether it's positive or negative. And if it turns out negative on that pros and cons list, then don't go ahead and go forward with it. It doesn't matter what it is.
Facts.
We saw 2 deals come to our way in 2015 from Universal Records that were big opportunities, but they wanted to own our masters and do all those things that would have really vice gripped us. So we said no to it. And that's tough. That's tough when you're 27 and you're on a collective of people that have a deal that's on the table for 10 million, and you say no because you have control of yourself and you respect yourself. Yeah. It goes right back to what we talked about just about 30 minutes ago. So if I have any piece of advice, do you stay independent until it's time and just believe in yourself. That's what it comes down to. Because if we didn't do that,
another dope singer just tapped in. Dulcin, I see you. Another dope singer. Wow. I see you, man. Thank you for tapping in.
I just feel so blessed to be, speaking to you both this evening, because it doesn't come around all the time where you're talking to people who are already, and I say this to you too, AT, because you said something, which is very valid. And I think people need to hear that it's not even about just making it to get there. You're there right now. You were there then, and my mom, she had literally my mom confirms that with me. She reminds me she's been doing it for years, instilling that in me, stop saying when I get there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in you. We've been we're talking about this illusion earlier, the facade of believing that what we see in this screen and these people with these bags and these houses and these cars. And
they EDD money.
All that stuff. It's not about that.
They stimulus check.
It's not about that.
You're like, ooh, he's balling right now. That stimulus check is fat.
I know for us something big is coming for us. I know for us something big is coming for us. I manifest these things. I know that. Hey, we don't focus on it. We focus on the process and we focus on the love. We're getting ready to go into a session in 9 minutes at 9 o'clock and go start recording.
And you know what the funny thing is, Marie? I like anybody that mess with me. One thing about me is if I tell you that I'm gonna do it, I do it.
That's what happens, bro.
And so I just came back from New York, right? It's funny you're saying that, and this is to all the younger generation that's looking for record deals and stuff. Man, don't take every record deal, man, because if you don't pay attention, they'll take everything from you. It'll be sitting on the shelf like Danny D. Kane. Shout out Danny D. Kane. They were dope. We ain't heard from them in years. Shout out to Diddy, man, for shelving another artist, man. Shout out. He's always shelving artists. But I'm saying, if you don't pay attention to the fine print, and I mess with Diddy. I'm telling you, I literally can get his live and he'll tap me in his live. I'm saying shout out to the people that are reactive to realness. Yeah. Like yourself. Shout out to those people. Shout out to those people that understand that real is a culture. That's a culture in itself, man. When you understand, I'm gonna wear collar shirts and only collar shirts. I don't care if everyone's wearing t-shirts. I'm gonna be real to myself. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shout out to those people that we you weird. Yeah. But they I'm just wearing my collar shirt, dude. I don't care if it's 90 degrees. I'm gonna wear my, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. Yeah. That's who I aspire to be like. I aspire to be the dweeb that we used to talk about in school that wore the glasses and the high socks. And we're like, man, you're a weirdo. Yeah. And now he's successful as a multimillionaire because he's still wearing his high socks and still wearing his goggles. But I understood that my mom and dad told me, bro, you gotta understand. I got millions of tattoos. People say, man, why did you do all that? I said, because I gotta be real to myself. Every tattoo on my body means something. It represents something. And I didn't care. I was like, they're gonna give me a job regardless because I'm educated and black. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. You're gonna respect that. And just it just so happened that I worked for myself for all these years, and the Lord has blessed me and cultivated my money and seasoned my land and blessed me to be a positive influence on people like AT, Jenny, shout out Louis Voltaire, C Styles, A Live was in the chat. These are dudes that I was able to sit down with and let them know, like, I've been at these label meetings.
Yeah. Yeah.
I grinded for that, but I've been at these label meetings and was able to tell them no. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same for you. Like, I heard your music. I told you, I was like, man, you dope. But I think we're on the same page. We're building the brand.
Yeah.
The brand is the word. I tell people all the time, man, what's your brand? What you selling?
Yeah.
You know, I ask people all the time, what are you selling? You selling twerking? Well, so is Megan Thee Stallion.
Right.
So is Megan Thee Stallion. You selling sexy? So is Cardi B. What are you selling that I want to go purchase your brand? You know why we wear Nike and Jordan? Because Jordan consistently changes up his shoe.
He sure do.
He consistently changes his brand. It's always elevating. It's always changing. For me in the last 5 years, from last year to now, I'm doing a little bit more rapping now.
Yes.
And then I'm singing with no pitch correction. I totally changed my style to where people are like, this dude can actually sing. And that's not me tooting my horn, but it was a time and place where I was like, I'm at a place of maturity where I'm like, I really do this.
Yes.
So now I'm confident in what I do, and I'm telling people, like, be yourself, man. Be yourself. We're gonna believe you if you're just yourself. You don't gotta wear see-through tights. You ain't gotta twerk. You ain't gotta. You can just be pretty.
Yeah.
Or you can just be basic. You can just be regular. Me, I'm just a regular dude. I used to be jeweled up and jewel. I don't even care about that because I don't want you to pay attention to the facade. It's a facade. We buy all that jewelry because it's what we do when we make it, right? I guess. I can keep that money and go buy and go buy a building and start a business. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I'm at a place where I understand that influence is everything. And if you take your platform and you destroy a generation because you're preaching nonsense, I'm gonna hold you accountable on that. And at the end of the day, it's a spirituality thing. And I feel like our brands, that's why I love what you do, like Face Behind the Brand. Like, people gotta understand that. A-Tip Band Boy, my independent label that I'm pushing, it's a music group, and these artists that I'm bringing in and we're cultivating, and they're becoming their own celebrity and their own superstar, and they're getting plays in clubs and different bars and radio stations. That's you. I had nothing to do with that. But if you understand that your brand is what I'm looking at, though. Yeah. I'm looking at that. They want to see what is Class go. People might have tapped in to see what I was wearing today. Yeah. Because it's a brand. We want to see what Class is talking about. What are he talking about? But like I told you, I'm more than Class. Like when I step out of the studio, when I'm out of the studio, I ain't walking around like, I want you to call me by my government name. Okay. I want you to understand, like, who I'm just being real, you know? I know. And I want you to call me my government name. I want you to treat me like a normal person, but enjoy the music, because you understand that my brand is spiritual, it's special, but who am I? So there is a face behind the brand, because our brand is what we wear. If you came on here in a white tee, a tall tee, I wouldn't talk to you no more. Okay. Just saying.
You're a mess. And you know what I was gonna say? And tell us just the first name. What's the government name? I know it, but I just think it's beautiful. It's an amazing name.
Emacio.
So that's who you are. You are a king, Emacio.
I appreciate it.
You have a sound out of this world. And yes, I said that earlier while I was driving. I confirmed what you just said. I said he can sing. I literally said, I was like, he can sing. And, you know, and I don't say sing, I said sang, S-A-N-G.
Appreciate you.
So in closing, because I know you guys have a session, I want to find out what are you going to be doing next, as far as, because, you know, this is a vast industry, because I totally see everything that you're talking about. I see more. For sure. I see modeling, because, yes, you are a handsome king. I see acting. I see fashion. Thank you. Yes, I see, of course, you know, executive, of course, of what you're doing, heading into your own as a label.
Appreciate it.
So is that the direction?
It is the direction. I'm trying to hit all facets in 2021, but I'm getting ready to take a New York trip. Yeah. We're going to keep that on the wraps, but I will be in New York. And then I'm going to take an Atlantic trip. Shout out to Tank. And I'm going to put something in his hands. And so it's basically me and Monique going to have something coming out real soon. We already talking about it. And so it's all of those things. I'm pushing for greatness. I feel like in 2021, we've been kind of held back for 4 years, and you don't even got to say it, but we've kind of been in a position where we've been attacked, we've been brutalized, we've been slid under the table, we've been forgotten. But I think in 2021, I want to be one of those people that step up and we're like, hey, we ain't forgotten.
Yeah.
God ordained this too. You know, God put us here too.
Yes.
God didn't give us the ability to be faster or to have rhythm at birth or to there's things that God gave us.
Yes.
And I'm not taking nothing away from any other person, but I'm saying growing up in this skin right here, 2021 is a year of prosperity. It's a year of growth. It's a year of maturity. It's a year of acting. It's a year of singing. So it's a year of just embodying what God gave me.
Amen.
And so moving forward, it's going to be all of that. It's going to be all of that. It's going to be building relationships.
To all those things.
For sure.
So
it's the year of the affirmation. I'm taking that. I took that from you yesterday. I wrote it on this notepad. I was sitting in my car. I'm telling you, 2021, I'm going to make sure that I affirm who I am every day. I'm a king. I'm blessed. I'm lucky. I'm spiritual. I'm gonna throw like 10 affirmations out a day. If I can leave that with anybody in this interview or in this live tonight, affirm yourself every day. Affirm the people around you. It could be your neighbor that you just don't like. She told me the other day something, and I'm telling you, call those things that are not as though they were. That's scripture, and it doesn't matter what religion or what you believe in, but start speaking those things in existence, man. I'm telling you, you'll tell your situation what to do, and your situation will change. That's just the power that you got as kings and queens.
That's it.
So I love that. You gave me some game the other day. I wrote it down immediately. I'm gonna put it in a verse or something. I'm gonna sing about it. I don't know. Sure.
I'm just cheesing. I'm so happy to hear because I'm just happy to do it every day, and I start doing it even more at night when I go to sleep.
For sure.
As I was telling you, so continue to do what you're doing. You're amazing.
I appreciate you.
Take us home and let us know where to find you other than IG.
You can find me on any streaming platform. You can find me on Facebook, Emacio Johnson. I'm on TikTok. I think Young Class. I probably got one video on there. It's doing thousands of streams, so I'm letting it do what it does. I don't mess with TikTok. But you can just find me if anybody out here is trying to tap in on any level. You want to talk, you want to do a song, man. Tap in right now. It's the season of giving. So we're gonna. You can tap with me. You can find me International _Class. Go follow. Go like. Go do something.
Well,
follow my girl, Monique Marie, face behind the brand. She's dope. You'll hear something from us soon. This is my new partner, my new friend. So you got 100% my support. Any way you need it, studio time, beats, whatever. I got you.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. And AT, thank you.
He stepped out, but it's all love.
Thank you so much for sharing class with us tonight. And I appreciate you taking the time out. And please be safe. And I will talk to you soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Peace.
All right. Peace.